welcome to my F122 My Team Career Mode. This is part 23, episode 23, whatever you want to call it, of this career series. Right now, this GP is the Italian GP in Monza, which I think we should do pretty good because we have a very fast straight line speed car, or at least I think we do. So yeah, hoping for good points, maybe a win or something this week for this GP. And now this is just all of our rewards after the practice session. Got a bunch of discounts and R&D points from the practice. So before qualifying, I think I'm going to make an upgrade to one of the R&D. Right now we're changing all of our parts to the good parts for the qualifying session. You know, fast car, we need fast parts, something like that. And yeah, we have 2,078 R&D points, so I'm sure we're gonna make an upgrade to something. Let's see. Right now I'm just looking at aerodynamics. Now I'm looking at the chassis. And I'm looking at the powertrain. Looks like we got a powertrain upgrade completed over the weekend. And we have a durability upgrade from Mercedes, which I'm pretty sure is our engine. But yeah, so we had a durability upgrade and a powertrain upgrade that came this weekend. And now we're going to make another powertrain upgrade, which will come in 34 days. I think that's what it said. So that's pretty slow, but I'm sure it's a major upgrade or something like that. So it will do, I guess, bring up our major, whatever, bring up our car, I guess, to be better. Because right now we're last in the R&D chart, which is pretty bad. I think we can do better. And here is our qualifying session now. And I guess I just won't talk. And yeah, we'll go straight to the race after this.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves once again of our top three: Verstappen, Sainz, and Charles Leclerc. Goodbye for now then, but really we're just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow. Welcome back to one of only two countries that has held a race every year since the very first Formula One World Championship in 1950. It is, of course, Italy, one of the great racing nations, and it's time to get underway for the Italian Grand Prix. We're 12 miles northeast of Milan for today's Grand Prix at a Monza circuit where we can expect top speeds of around 215 miles per hour. 11 corners on this 3.6-mile track, with 7 of those coming in the form of chicanes. And with a good slipstream and DRS open, there should be plenty of opportunity for some passing here today. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position. And a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Russell, Daniel Ricciardo and Hamilton, Norris, Hughes, Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly, Bottas, Schwartzman, Esteban Ocon and Tsunoda, Magnussen, Albon, Lance Stroll and Sebastian Vettel. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Joe, Mick Schumacher, Latifi and Oscar Piastri. And now it's time to head down to the track. And with me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Hughes. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway and the track temperature looks warm. That may or may not play into some of the team's hands in today's race. As the cars come back towards the grid to line up for the start of the race, each driver will be wanting to get the best start they possibly can, and they'll be hoping to finish today's race on the podium, failing that, within the points.
Okay, that was the formation lap over, and there's 5 lights, and out and away we go for this Italian GP or Monza. And I start P8, but then I quickly lose that position to Fernando Alonso in the Alpine and make a dive bomb down the inside. 8, 7, 6, 5. Let's see if I get this position from Hamilton. It looks like I am just going to be P7, maybe P8 with this squabbling with Alonso right now. Or no, I mean Hamilton I meant. Let's see if I can overtake his teammate of George Russell and maybe Norris down the inside of this turn. Overtake the McLaren and the Mercedes. So now I'm P5 ahead in front of the 2 Ferraris. And Sainz being my championship rival right now, so he's gonna score some more points since he's on the podium position and I'm down in P5. And it looks like for all that contact with Hamilton we had and like Lando Norris, it looks like we didn't get any damage at all, which is pretty good. Going into the last turn, I guess. Looks like Lando Norris has a good slipstream. He's gaining on me. Or not. Let's see, heading into the final turn onto the main straight. And it's the end of lap 1 basically. Max Verstappen set the fastest lap. And I didn't, obviously. Looks like Lando Norris is going to try to overtake us now. And he couldn't into turn 1. So I keep that P5 position. I'm just going ahead and fast forwarding this because nothing really happened. And it looks like DRS got enabled since we're on lap 3 now. So see, I'm slowly gaining up to Daniel Ricciardo in the Ferrari. So passing him could get us closer to Carlos Sainz, which is what we need. You know, and I set my personal best for 121, all green sectors at lap 4. And for this lap 5, and it's time to pit for the mediums. So yeah, time to pit for medium. And now going into this turn, I overtake Ricardo. I go on the outside, the inside. I go down the inside, and I make that move stick. And I set a purple sector 1, which is pretty good. Heading into the pits now, Looks like the team is gonna change the front wing. I don't think there was even damage. I think I left the change front wing damage thingy on. That's why they did, or else I wouldn't. Which, that might have cost us a win. We were looking P4. If we kept going in the race, maybe a win. Now we're all the way down because of that front wing change, which that's probably my fault. Yeah, I think I left the change front wing thing on. Let's see where we end up after the second people make their pit stop. And we end up P9, so we lost 5 positions, right? We were in P4, P5. We were P4. So we lost 5 positions, but it looks like a sliver of hope with a safety car. I nearly overtook and ran into the back of Alonso there. But it looks like Lance Stroll is out of the session. I'm pretty sure I saw another one. I forgot. But yeah, just fast forward this. But by the time the safety car goes into the pits, it's going to be like a 3-4 lap sprint to the end of the race. So let's see if there's any action. Maybe we can gain some positions back. Hopefully go back to P4, but I'm not even sure that's possible. But yeah, it looks like we can get rid of Alonso easy. He's on hard. So once the restart restarts, then his hards will still be pretty cold. He went on the softer compound on some medium, so we should be able to overtake him. So that's P8. I'm not sure about the other 7, but let's see what we can do now. The safety car went back into the pits and resumed racing. So again, to the tuck in the slipstream of Alonso. I'm pulling out to the side of him now. I'm using all the ERS I have. I'm making a dive bomb into turn 1 past Alonso, Hamilton, Russell, Norris. Let's see if I can fully clear Norris on this turn 1 heading into turn 2. It looks like I did. So I guess I did pretty good going back to P5. So yeah, that front wing change definitely cost me the race win, which would be some needed points in this championship fight. Now let's see if I can go back to P4 or maybe P3. That's what I once was, P4. So and it looks like Carlos Sainz is on some hards. So I think we should be faster than him in this stint. So I think we can. And Ricardo, we already showed we overtook him once. And we're slowly gaining time right now, so we can overtake him again. So, and then once we catch up to Ricardo, we'll just try to overtake Sainz for that podium position. Because he's on hard, so he'll be slower than us, hopefully. But yeah, you got the Ferraris, both the Ferraris, in front of their home crowd, the Tifosi in Italy. Maybe once DRS gets activated again, we can do pretty good to overtake them. We're going into lap 11 now. We set the fastest lap, so we'll get 1 extra point, 121.112. Pretty good. Overtaking looks like I'm going to make a move on Daniel Ricciardo. Heading into turn 1. So, overtook Ferrari in front of the Tifosi. They must be hating my team right now, but heading onto the final lap. Looks like I'm going to get DRS from Carlos Sainz. I'm going to activate all the ERS I have left. And I try to see if I can get him. Looks like I get Carlos Sainz into turn 1. And the 2 Red Bulls of Verstappen and Leclerc are squabbling for P1 position. Which at that turn 1 might have opened the door for us. But it looks like they're pulling away now in the much faster Red Bull. So maybe not the race win. Maybe they're still fighting each other. So let's see. But I think we have a solid P3 position, which is pretty good. Despite I ran on the grass there, which made me lose a bunch of time to the Leclerc in front. It looks like Verstappen is going to take this home to win. But after all the weird pit stop with the front wing change, which was probably my fault, we ended up P3. So I guess the damage limitation, whatever. But we definitely could have gone the win. With that safety car restart, yeah, for sure the win. If it wasn't for that front wing change. But rounding the final turn now. Going into the straight, the checkered flag, Max Verstappen wins, with Leclerc and me rounding up the podium positions of P2 and P3. And there we go. So let's see if that is enough to close up to Carlos Sainz, because he is leading the Drivers' Championship right now. So let's see, there's the Red Bull team celebrating. And we got Max Verstappen's car, the 33. He wasn't champion, it was Leclerc and Ferrari, and then he moved to Red Bull. Look at that big hole. There was a big hole in my front wing on my car. That's probably when I bumped Alonso in the front. Let's see if you can see it. No, you can't see it. Go, we got the two Red Bulls rounding out P1, P2, and me. See, can you see the hole? No, you can see my car. Man, I'll need to change the livery for the next season. Yeah, it's getting kind of old, you know? Bright blue, bright red. So there is us on the podium. Looks, oh man, imagine in real life with Leclerc and Verstappen were teammates. Who do you think would come up on top? I honestly think Verstappen, because he's been there for like forever. I mean, since he was a rookie, he went from Toro Rosso and then straight to the main Red Bull seat. So he's basically been there forever. So I think Max Verstappen would beat Leclerc if they were both in the Red Bull. But maybe once the Leclerc gets adjusted to the Red Bull, maybe he'll beat him, because as we saw when he was Ferrari versus Red Bull last season in the beginning, it looks like Leclerc was winning. But we all know how the 2022 season went for Ferrari. Here we go. And there's the race rundown. Looks like Schumacher got 15 when he started 20, so 5 positions gained, which is alright, but no points for him. Looks like we are still 25 points behind Carlos Sainz. So this is going to be a really close season, because I think we only have like 3 more races left. I'm sure we have, let's see, Texas, USA, the Austin GP, then we have Brazil, and then Abu Dhabi. So this is gonna be a close championship fight. But for that race weekend, we got 608,000. That's a $500,000 from our sponsor, and it was just asking to renew the sponsor. So now we are done with the Italian GP, heading to the Austin, or whatever, Texas, USA GP at the Circuit of Americas. So I'm filling up the activities to do before the summer break. So we just have 2 more activities to do, because we basically filled out the whole thing except for the funded team event and the second driver press tour. But once the season break is over and starts again, then we'll have more time to do those missing activities. But I replaced the second driver performance review for the second driver, I don't know, something else about the second driver. So I just go, we don't have any money for R&D upgrades, or we don't have any R&D points for R&D upgrades, but we also don't have any money to develop the facilities. And since we lost to Leclerc in that rivalry battle, I'm now picking my new rival, which I picked Carlos Sainz, because he's basically my rival for this championship fight. Let's see who will come out on top. And it looks like I cannot afford low cash. I cannot afford Mick Schumacher's contract. Luckily, I won't be renewing with Schumacher. Hopefully, I'll get somebody better that can score points, you know. I know we have the worst car, but like, look what I'm doing. I'm doing wonders in that thing. So I'm sure my teammate for next season should do better than Schumacher. But we advanced the activities, and now, there's the summer break time. And let's see if I am going to make any upgrades right before the summer break. And it looks like I will, because I have enough points. I have 1,509, a little over 1,500. And it looks like, I think it looked like we got some durability upgrades and I think we got upgrades for basically everything. So rounding off the season rounding off the before the break pretty good with all these new upgrades, which leaves us still last place, right behind Alpine. Even though Williams is better than us. That's crazy. And yeah, we're all steadily trying to get up there, trying to beat the other teams. And like, that's what I'm talking about, the break. After the break, there's all that time for the activities. It looks like Fernando Alonso is going to be retiring this season after Abu Dhabi. So it looks like an open seat at the Alpine is there. Let's see who will go take a spot. I'm sure silly season is going to be underway in this F1 22 My Team Career mode, this alternate F1iverse or something like that. But let's see. Yep, there's the Austin United States Grand Prix, whatever it's called. R&D chart, we're still last. Our sponsor's the same. And yeah, I'm still second place behind Carlos Sainz. And yeah, let's see. And I'm going to make changes to my watch list. Take off Ocon, add Ricardo, add Norris, add Vettel, and add Sainz to my watch list, and Bottas. So those are going to be my choices to replace Mick Schumacher for next season. See if I even meet the requirements. I know some, like, you need certain facility, like facility spec 3. So let's see if I can even get these top runners. So I think any of these would be way better than Mick Schumacher. No offense, Schumacher, but Alex Albon and the Williams, I might get him too. He's pretty good. I mean, not as good as Schumacher. I mean, looking at the rating, Schumacher's 84, Alex is 83. But thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, get us to 190. I think that's the target now. That's pretty good. So bye. Join us next episode.